perhaps looking to cash another KO bonus here tonight as he takes on a tall, lanky southpaw, Malik Calhoun. This one's scheduled for 6 rounds in the super middleweight division.
It's interesting in the fighter meetings, they both said the same thing about each other. They said, you know what, I'm sizing him up and he doesn't look as big as I thought he was. But I wonder after the hydration, are they still thinking the same thing?
You know, in terms of
Calhoun looks kind of big to me.
And in terms of pedigree, I would say that Calhoun is definitely Layne's biggest test so far. He's comfortable in that. Looks like a seasoned fighter in there so far.
Right, and he's probably the first one that I've seen so far that wasn't scared, you know, of Donte Layne. And he just threw some pretty hard shots.
Decent jab, little pestering jab his team was talking about.
We're going to definitely see Donte Layne's pedigree today.
Indeed. You're both wearing Duke's gloves, Corey. You familiar?
Oddly enough, no.
Oddly enough,
now they're mine.
I know everything.
So this is rare. I agree with you, Barack. I'm not intimidated so far from Donte Layne's knockout streak.
Absolutely.
A shot to the body there from Layne. He's been targeting the body here early on. Understandable, given that 6'4" frame of Calhoun.
And listen, I see nothing wrong with he's going to fight guys that are more comfortable in it as he progresses. He needs fights like this.
Right. And it's early in the round, but as of right now, they both kind of felt each other's shots, even though they got the high guard and it might be getting partially blocked. So they're already making their assessment, okay, whether they could take it or not.
Right. Now we're seeing Donte applying pressure. Early on, you know, he seemed like he was maybe backing up on the back foot, but I guess, to your point, he must have felt Calhoun's power and is comfortable moving forward.
Or maybe he's like, you know what, he's busier than me. I got to win this round. I can't let him steal this round from me.
Right.
Layne continuing to back Calhoun up against the ropes here. Nice left hand to the body.
Calhoun's wife didn't make it here, so I'm pretty sure she's watching and saying, we have to get this win. I'm tired of going to work working overtime. Good body shot by Calhoun.
Yeah, both men doing good body work here in the early going. Both men very relaxed. Layne's had a couple of stretches here in this opening round where he's been able to walk Calhoun back, but Calhoun is looked threatening. What he has thrown, it looks heavy, it sounds heavy, even when it's connecting on the gloves of Donte Layne.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And even that right hook to the body was pretty hard.
I think Dante's trying to get his distance together. Now, what's landing for him is the jab to the body. But he's not able to really connect upstairs because of the height of Calhoun.
I like the matchup so far.
Well, ever wonder where the top 1% of the top 1% serve? That would be in the U.S. Air Force Special Warfare. It takes an exceptional individual to go where others won't and put their life on the line doing what others can't. If you think you have what it takes to join this elite team of heroes, head over to airforce.com/special warfare to learn more.
I wasn't scoring that round, but this might have been the first round Donte Layne lost. Could have been.
True indeed.
Because it was a close round.
Very well could be. I'm pretty sure, you know, he has a great corner, Donte Layne. Those are guys, they're going to put some fire up under him.
It's round 2 underway. And this really, guys, is the latest in a series of learning experiences for Donte Layne. We mentioned having to go 4 rounds to stop Pacino Hill last time out in New York. Dealt with some fight cancellations. Also had to battle through a cut in that fight as well. So he's starting to get those professional lessons as he eats a nice left hand from Calhoun.
2 in a row.
Nice reply from Donte Layne. Good body shot. He looks to come over the top of the left hand.
Dante's approaching this round as if that first round was close.
Right.
See his aggression and
absolutely. I just wish he would stop backing up straight back.
They're trading jabs. It seems like Calhoun is countering quicker.
Calhoun trying to slip inside with an uppercut. Layne
Body.
still targeting the belt line of Calhoun.
Free him up. Hands are free. Let's go. Free him. Let him go. Let's go.
Very competitive fight.
These are two guys with very different upbringings in the sport. As we mentioned, Calhoun, kind of one of these DIY guys who just jumped right into the sport in his 20s. Donte Layne, 74-11 as an amateur.
Calhoun says he was a natural when he stepped in the gym. People were saying, listen, you're good at this. Started at, I think, 21 years old. And we all know that's late in this sport.
A double right hook a moment ago there from Layne, then comes over the top of the left hand.
Stop. Box.
Very different approaches to preparing for these fights. Two guys. Donte Layne has really cut back on the amount of sparring he's been doing. Likes to spar about once a week to preserve his body. Calhoun, as we mentioned, well, he's learning on the job. He's sparring as much as he can.
Yeah. You know, I think Layne is landing the harder shots on the inside, working on the inside, landing some good body shots. Calhoun is more effective from the outside.
And he might even be the stronger fighter, you know, throwing Calhoun in the ropes, keeping him against the ropes.
Yeah. Appears that way. He's catching Layne's jab pretty well, though, defensively, Calhoun is.
Big left hand over the top again there from Layne.
And I think that's where the inexperience comes in, from being standing straight up outside of that clinch. Calhoun, something that, you know, you have to come out of those clinches with your chin down and spinning your opponent.
You mentioned Calhoun has done a good job catching Layne's jab, but there are times when he's catching jabs to the body and leaving that shot open up top, which we've seen Layne connect on a number of times.
And I believe that was part of the game plan in those exchanges.
Beautiful body attack and going upstairs by Donte Layne to end that round.
Strong ending of the round for Layne. I would say he won that round. Still competitive fight.
These are close rounds. Yeah, very close rounds.
Give me some rhythm. Watch the holding, okay, guys? You gotta make a play on that. Breathe. There you go.
Competitive rounds, but it just seems like Donte is the one that's in control and forcing the action.
Especially in that second round. Still 4 rounds to go early in this fight.
I think you on the break.
Yeah,
so hands up.
Watch your that. But just drop down to that 5. Once you cut them up on the leg, bro, drop down to that 5. I need rhythm in that double jab, bro. Double jab, get that 5. That's a better round. Don't let that motherfucker out that corner.
Round 3 underway. Donte Layne and Malik Calhoun. Pretty competitive fight thus far. The most competitive fight of the young career of Donte Layne thus far.
Yes. Usually his opponents, even though it was the first round, most of them, they're breathing hard in the first round after the onslaught of Donte Layne. He's fighting somebody who's in shape and is meeting his aggression.
And is much taller than him, so there's that awkward size difference. And that's what a young fighter, a young prospect wants. You want to get rounds in, especially with guys that might be tricky.
And that's why Donte wants him on the ropes so he can keep him at the end of his punches.
Prior to this sequence here, guys, there was a decent little adjustment from Calhoun. Started throwing something before his back got to the ropes, and I think that was probably the adjustment they were talking about in the corner. Now, whether he can continue to execute that or not against the heavy pressure of Donte Layne, that's another matter.
Right, before he was waiting to try and counter him.
Right, now
So leaning up against the ropes.
he's leading with that 1-2. He threw that 1-2 lead right away.
Nice body
Donte's
shot
walking
a moment
through.
ago there from Layne, really sneaking that one in there.
Absolutely. He hasn't landed too flush upstairs yet.
Nice uppercut there from Layne.
Good body attack from Layne as well.
Very composed work on the inside here from Layne.
And believe it or not, guys, he's showing good defense in the pocket there. Rolling, keeping the chin down. Using that elbow.
He's just not letting his hands go enough, and I'm talking about Calhoun.
Yeah. Not answering back. You got to meet fire with fire. Layne needs a little breather. He let a lot of punches out there.
That's exactly what it was.
Layne now assuming the spot that Calhoun has spent a lot of time in throughout this fight.
Listen, Layne doesn't spar much for his fight. Sometimes once a week only for these camps.
Wow.
His trainer said, saving brain cells. Can't be upset with them.
I'd like to see a couple more feints from Donte so you can get in there because he's not reaching him up top.
Good
Beautiful.
check hook.
Check hook getting there before the left hand of Calhoun. A nice shot as Layne tried to step in.
Yep.
There's a good left hand to the body from Layne. A nice short shot downstairs. Now brings the right hook behind it.
And Calhoun is trying to answer with that left hand in the pocket with no fear. Very confident. No question Donte's biggest test of his career. Still passing though. So far.
That looked like a Donte round to me.
Fair to say, but
Take a look at the punch stats, courtesy of CompuBox. You see Donte Layne landing 40 of 196. Calhoun, 24 of 130. Illustrating the competitiveness of this fight, but again, Layne a lot busier, able to trap Calhoun on the ropes for large stretches of this fight.
And I think that the big difference came from this particular round.
Rock, what kind of advice do you think Calhoun is getting in the corner?
Stay long. Use your feet. Don't be first. You jab first. Don't wait for him to come in, but stay off the ropes.
Calhoun, at least beginning the round, standing pretty firm in the center of the ring.
Here we go.
Taking those instructions that you think he's getting pretty literally right now.
Absolutely.
Has that football background. He played football, was very well, played corner, receiver.
Let the jab go, Calhoun. See, and that's the thing, the waiting. I just don't like the waiting. And Donte's taking advantage of that. And now he's right back on the corner again. Good defense by Donte, weaving those shots.
Good work there from Calhoun. Lands a nice shot to the body, but Layne coming back with some thunder of his own.
Great exchange.
Nice. I think Calhoun is just comfortable firing off the ropes. He thinks he's good there. He thinks he could probably hurt Donte Layne, and he goes right back to the ropes.
Not a good spot for him because Donte does some good work when Calhoun is on the ropes. But I tell you what, Calhoun's record is very deceiving, guys. At 3-2-1, this guy looks like a pro that's been in the ring more than 5-6 times.
I agree. I think Calhoun is throwing some good shots on the inside. Just if he could just shorten up a little bit, shorten up those shots, maybe they'll land a little more flush. That was not bad. There you go.
Decent exchange there.
Well, Brock, as you know, sometimes you do see this out of fighters, and perhaps this is what we're seeing out of Calhoun. As you mentioned, there is a comfort in being against the ropes because it sort of simplifies the process. You're just looking at what's coming at you.
Right.
You're not worrying about your feet. You're just looking to catch shots and try and counter. The problem is you can get outworked, which is what's happening right now.
Absolutely. And your guy is right there, but what he's doing, he's looking for that right shot while he's on the ropes.
Hands over the top there from Layne.
That's a good point, Corey. And the problem is there are guys that live their career on the ropes, but they counter with hard shots. They're comfortable. He's not landing big shots off the ropes, which is why Layne is comfortable. Good right hook.
Good right hook over the top, and now snaps an uppercut in there as well. Really turned that left hand over. Layne finding his range as he measures Calhoun against the ropes.
And that was a flush shot, a nice straight shot down the middle.
Down the middle. He took that pretty well.
Meanwhile, in the fighting meeting, Calhoun said that Donte's a sucker for the straight.
His body work.
Straight shot.
This is, Layne is, wow, great exchange. Layne is winning this fight, but this is a very competitive fight, guys.
when you look at just the talent level of Calhoun, he's certainly one of those guys where you think, if he'd come to the sport a little bit earlier, had a different upbringing in the sport, what could he have become?
Absolutely.
100%.
But he is turning into a solid fighter nonetheless, because he's in there with an excellent prospect in Donte Layne as we head towards the 5th round.
That's not where you need to be. If you're going to do that, you need to turn and go to work.
This is where I say Calhoun is comfortable on the ropes, trying to look for his shots. It's just a very dangerous place to be, especially with a person that goes to the body like Donte Layne, then comes upstairs. Now, none of these are super flush, but they're winning rounds. Even that uppercut just grazed them. And that uppercut, another one, is really grazing the chin. So none of these shots really landed flush, but he's winning rounds, connecting.
Let's go, second down, second down.
Let's go, D. Keep it going, baby. Line the defense.
One thing I can say is Donte Layne is in shape. He has a nice work rate.
Yeah. He took a couple of breathers, but not for long.
Right.
Not for long.
Of course.
You do that as a fighter.
Right. Now you're expending energy, pushing your opponent into the ropes, letting go more shots, sitting down on all your punches.
It's good work here from Donte Layne.
Donte definitely outworking Calhoun.
Back up, let's go.
Especially on the ropes. And not letting up, guys. Ooh.
Hard right hook there from Calhoun. Layne aiming at the body. Calhoun waited that one out and landed a perfect right hook.
Looks like,
and there, that cut is opened up over the eye of Donte Layne. The blood splattering across the trunks of Donte Layne.
And Donte Layne, he knows that. He feels the urgency. He wiped the blood, caught him with a beautiful jab a second ago.
and that's right above the eye, so that blood is definitely going to leak inside his left eye.
Right. He's getting a learning experience. He might be winning he's definitely winning the fight, but he's getting a learning experience.
Second straight fight that Layne has dealt with a cut as he just deals with a left hand from Malik Calhoun, who has an air of confidence about him right now.
Oh, absolutely, especially seeing that blood in that cut.
That's exactly what you see now. Now he's not the one that's trying to draw Donte Layne in. He wants to back him up now.
Good shot to the body there.
I think he might have hurt him a little bit.
Might have felt that. But that jab, once again, that stiff jab got him from Donte Layne.
Layne continuing to paw at that cut as well, in addition to dealing with that body shot.
And the jab is the best weapon to deal with this situation to keep a guy off you.
Right. Well, we're going to see now if the young Donte Layne can stay composed, stick to the game plan.
Still landing the hardest shots. Just got
another perfect right hook there from Malik Calhoun. I say perfect, maybe didn't turn it over all the way, but he met Donte Layne.
Great time.
And stopped him in his tracks.
Right, it was more of a slap, but it hit the spot. It hit the spot where he's bleeding. It's going to annoy him.
Also, it hit him coming
whether
in.
it hurt him or not.
Stop, let's go.
He's not really turning his punches or sitting down on them.
This is the toughest round of Layne's pro career by a wide margin.
Right. No question about it. You see how he deals with it and comes back.
I think now the jab of Donte is going to be a little more successful because Calhoun's actually coming in. He's taking those steps in, closing that distance.
Which also is putting him there at risk to get hit with a big shot. Because Donte's waiting to counter with that left hand.
Exactly. Definitely wanted to do a pull counter.
Good jab by Donte. Calhoun is landing some big shots here.
One more left hand right at the bell. Excellent round for one punch Calhoun.
And he landed some big body shots. And you know, Donte has had a big output. He looks like he's taking moments in the fight resting, and the body shots aren't helping with condition.
Last round, guys. We're gonna cut the gloves, okay? How you feeling? Okay. Say right now, I need you smart. We need this round. Okay. We need this round. I need you fucking smart, bro. Last 3 minutes? Right. So you gotta go. Rest your jab. You know your combinations off your jab. Be a
see what the opponent of Donte Layne can actually do to that cut and see what kind of fire Donte comes out with in the next round.
Stay smart, bro.
Here is the 6th and final round, the money round.
The money round, the 6th and final round begins here between Donte Layne and Malik Calhoun. Calhoun giving Layne everything he can handle here tonight. Calhoun, a man who really made something of his life through the sport of boxing. Said he thought that he was just going to be another statistic growing up in Kansas City. Now he's married, he's got a house, and he is in there giving as good as he's getting with a blue chip prospect in Donte Layne.
I was waiting to see that straight left to the body from Donte.
I tell you what, even in a loss for Calhoun, Corey, in this fight, he'll be back in the ring because he made a good account for himself today.
And you got to keep that left hand up. Got to protect that cut. Throw those power shots, bring that hand right back.
Those shots are arm shots, and that's why they're not hurting Layne.
It's the right hook that Calhoun is open for, but Dante's trying to hit him with that overhand left.
Calhoun's corner is put some confidence in him, and they told him, listen, you got to let it out all in this round.
Take a look at the punch stats here. You see Donte Layne still outworking Malik Calhoun. But you look at that connect percentage, creeping closer and closer for Malik Calhoun. He's connected on 53 of 255.
Right, he had a great round last round, but is that going to be enough for the judges to give the victory to him?
He's letting some
Left
big
hand
left hands in
coming
this
in there
round.
from Calhoun. You wonder if Layne is having some difficulty seeing these shots at this point. He's not reacting quite the same way.
That's a good point, and he's throwing shots, you know, from the wrong distance, and I'm wondering why.
I think he's a little tired right now, so he had 5 tough rounds. He hasn't had a fight like this in his career thus far. Still, big left hand by Layne landed there.
I bet he got some blood on her khakis here, Brock. Got a little close. Layne getting close with that left hand there a moment ago.
I got shorts under these. I'm good.
Great learning
takes
experience for Layne. That cut, it looks like it's getting worse.
Closing in on the final 30 seconds of this contest.
See, those are hard shots. Those left hands on the ropes are the difference in this fight.
They're not landing flush, and he needs to step in so he can end that with a hook.
They're still landing on the top of the head. Those are clear shots landed.
It's not flush.
And this is territory that Calhoun has been in the past. Donte Layne has never been this deep in a fight before. But he will be taking the distance for the first time. A good competitive fight in the 168-pound division.
No bonus for Layne.
They both showed heart. Like I said, this was a learning experience for Donte Layne. He's going to go back to the drawing board, see what he did wrong, see what he did right. But at least he can tell himself today, I got a cut, I didn't back down, I can still hang.
And Calhoun can also be happy with not the loss, but how he fared against an undefeated young prospect.
He came back from that 5th round and still began to be the aggressor. And that says a lot about his heart, so I appreciate that. But we got to give a lot of credit to Calhoun.
Absolutely. This is a fight that on film reflects better on Donte Layne than maybe it will on BoxRec. Assuming he picks up the victory here, you'll see him win over a guy who's 3-2-1. But as we were alluding to, guys, this is a fighter in Malik Calhoun who very easily, with different management, different circumstances, could have been maneuvered to 6-0, right?
Absolutely.
Give him a couple of fights in Tijuana, suddenly he's 4-0.
Right.
Managed differently instead. He's been the B-side guy.
I think his wife is watching this and saying, this is why I work so hard, baby, because I know you got it.
In fact,
Hands up, baby, hands up.
In fact, Corey, I wish I could have started his career at Hope and managed him. I would have took him down there. Had a hot super middleweight.
All praise to God, baby.
Facing a little adversity Layne has, but I believe he's done enough to win this fight.
Right. More than likely, he pulled away the win. But I do think the first couple of rounds were a little competitive and a little close, so you don't really know.
It's like the scorecards are in the hands of Matthew Perino, so let's send it up to
Ladies and
center.
gentlemen, let's have a hand for these two incredible warriors. After 6 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score the contest 58-56, 58-56, and 59-55. All for the winner by unanimous decision. Out of the red corner, and still undefeated, Donte Layne.
So Donte Layne had to battle through it, but will remain undefeated. You heard the scores of 58-56 twice and 59-55. That's a well-scored fight as well, guys.
I agree.
Once I heard the scorecards, I knew exactly who won. And he's upset. Calhoun's upset.
More so his corner.
And I understand that, but just because you had the bigger moment doesn't mean you won the battle, you know? And that's what I think it is. Yes, he had the bigger moment, but...
And probably the biggest round. Round 5
Exactly.
was the biggest round
That's right.
for either fighter
That
in
was
this
his
fight.
moment.